Hey guys, it's my dog here. She's leaving me. Give me a sec. Okay, so now that my dog has left me, let's get started. I think I just finished my coffee too. What a great day. Anyways, today I have a quick Christmas holiday book haul. I personally celebrate Christmas, but this could just be a holiday book haul. We're here to just haul some books. I dyed my hair. I dyed just like the front part of it. It's green. I think it looks cute. And my hair is straight, which it never normally is straight. It's like normally really curly, but when I got my hair done at the hair salon, the lady like straightened my hair. So here we are with straight hair. And it's like really long, you can't even see the ends of it. And it's up in a ponytail. Anyways, back to this book haul. Most of these books I got for myself for Christmas, and some of these books were gifts to me from my parents. If you care to know which ones are from my parents, then I'll let you know. Most of these, I'll admit, I bought for myself. They were having a lot of holiday deals, holiday sales, so don't come for me. Anyways, I'm going to start off with the paperbacks, and then we're going to work our way to the hardbacks. Even though, I don't know if this is a controversial opinion, but I prefer paperbacks and not hardbacks. Hardbacks are like really, they hurt my hands to hold. I prefer paperbacks. But anyways, let's get into this haul. The first book I have is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. This is my first Toni Morrison book. She is a very well-known author, and I figured if you can see that sticker, it says buy one get one 50% off. So since this was on sale, I figured now would be a good a time as any to pick up a Toni Morrison book. Because you gotta read Toni Morrison, apparently. I have to sneeze. So many people in my little like booktube, bookstagram community really love Toni Morrison and like highly recommend that you read a Toni Morrison book, so I picked up my first Toni Morrison book. This next book was also on sale for the buy one get one 50% off, and it's called One Day in December by Josie Silver. So I don't know what The Bluest Eye is about. I just picked it up because it was a Toni Morrison book. But this one, I do know what it's about. It's about this woman who like one day she's on the bus or something and she looks out the window and she locks eyes with this man, and she doesn't really believe in love at first sight, but in that moment she's like, she falls in love with him at first sight, you know? And she spends the whole next year like looking for him everywhere. She goes back to that same bus stop and like searches around, like she just goes ham, you know, searching for this man. And then a year later, she's at like a Christmas party or something, and her best friend is like, oh my gosh, I want you to meet my boyfriend, like you have to meet him. And lo and behold, the man who walks up is that same man that she locked eyes with. So that's what kind of starts out this story, I guess. Pretty interesting premise, and I'm excited to see what happens. It's a pretty thick book too, I'm not gonna lie. It's like, it's almost 400 pages long, so it's a pretty thick book. The last paperback I have is, it's a really highly recommended book by like almost everyone in the booktube community. It was released this year from what I understand, and people just went crazy like falling in love with this book, saying that it's like 5 out of 5 stars, excuse me, blah blah blah. And so the book is Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. It's a cute little romance. I've been really into romance stories lately, and actually one of my close friends and I are doing like a buddy read type thing. We're both reading this, and we're gonna like put up reviews about what we thought about the book. She's already started reading her book. I just got it like today. So I can't wait to get into this one. Basically, the main character, Chloe Brown, she's like chronically ill, and she kind of like lives this ordinary life, and then she like almost dies or something. So she decides to, instead of like living this like normal ordinary life that she's been living this whole time, she decides to knock off some things off of like her bucket list, and she puts like all these wild things, like I think it says on the back, enjoy a drunken night out, ride a motorcycle, go camping, have meaningless but thoroughly enjoyable sex, travel the world with nothing but hand luggage, and do something bad. So it's about like her on this quest to complete these things on her like list, like her bucket list kind of deal. And I think she like ends up meeting someone and possibly falling in love. I don't know. I haven't read the book, but it's a romance book, so I'm excited to see what happens. So the next couple books, I don't really know much about them, but I just watered you. Sorry, my one plant is like falling over, like limp, as if I didn't just water it yesterday. I watered it yesterday and it's like falling over limp. So dramatic. Anyways, so the next two books that I have, I don't really know much about, but they were highly recommended to me by, like I said, people in my booktube community. So the first book is Felix Ever After by Kaysen Callender. Mostly all I know is that it takes place in high school, and Felix is a gay or queer, and he's also like a person of color, and I believe it's also a romance. The first line is, Felix's love has never been in love, but he's desperate to know what it's like and why it seems so easy for everyone but him to find someone. So I guess it's about him going on this quest for love. That's what I'm guessing. But I've heard so many good things about this book, that Felix is such like an amazing main character, yada yada yada. And I'm also trying to just broaden my reading world, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. Like I'm trying to include more people of color and like more queer stories in like my reading, if that makes sense. I'm trying to diversify my reading, basically, so I thought this would be a good start. The next one, I do know a little bit about it. I know that it's a memoir. That's all I know. But it's called All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. This girl that I follow on Instagram, she posted that she like just finished this book or something and that she highly recommends it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like should I get it then? And she was like, girl, yes. So I got it. It's like a collection of essays from what I understand. Something like that. But it's also a memoir. Let's read the inside. We're gonna go through this together. In his groundbreaking young adult memoir, prominent writer and LGBTQIA+ activist George M. Johnson shares both glorious and gut-wrenching memories of growing up black and queer in America. From getting bullied at age 5 to visiting flea markets with his loving grandmother, to the thrilling frontiers of first relationships, Johnson's early life is a profound tapestry of everyday experiences. As a rising star in cultural criticism, Johnson turns his passion for exploring intersectional identities to his own life by weaving questions of gender, masculinity, brotherhood, family, and black joy throughout his stories. Posing the same questions to the reader, he invites us to consider what social influences have governed our own lives. Most central to Johnson's journey is how to reconcile his blackness and his queerness, identities that are sometimes at odds in his story. The answer is a reassuring testimony for queer men of color. They're equal parts to a whole and perfectly designed person. So it's about his experience being queer and being black and growing up, dealing with his queerness and his black okay, I don't know if like dealing is the best word, but like growing up and sharing his experiences being a queer black person, queer black male identifying person, I believe. He is male identifying. So I think that's a really interesting premise for this memoir. I'm really, like I said, trying to diversify my reading. So I thought this would be another great addition to that. This next book I'm really excited about. This was on my Christmas list and my parents got this for me and I'm really excited to read it. It's called Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. So basically the main premise of this is that the main character, I think her name is Alex Chamberlain, that's what it says on the inside flap. Oh no, Alex Chamberlain is the woman who the main character is babysitting for. The main character is Amira Tucker. So Amira Tucker is this babysitter for Alex Chamberlain, and basically the main premise of the story is that Amira takes the child she's babysitting for to the supermarket one day or something like that, and then the security guard at the supermarket thinks that she kidnapped the child because Amira is black and the child that she's babysitting for is white. And so that's what kind of starts this chain of events, and I'm really excited to read it. This is also part of Reese's book club, which so far all the books I've read in Reese's book club are bangers. Bangers. So I'm really excited to get into this one. This is definitely on the top of my list for like books I want to read in 2021. So very excited. And also, can we just talk about the cover? It's so visually pleasing. Like this pink with this blue, stunning. Stunning. The next book I have, which is also from my parents for Christmas, is called The Shadows by Alex North. I don't know how best to describe this, but basically this teenager, Charlie Crabtree, 25 years ago, committed a murder so shocking that it's attracted that strange kind of infamy that only exists on the darkest corners of the internet and inspired more than one copycat. And the main character is Paul Adams. Basically, his mom lives in like the town that the murders originated, or the murder that Alex Crabtree committed, like where it originated. And his mother is like losing her memory or something, and a copycat starts murdering people in the town right next to Paul's mom's town where she lives. And so he's trying to figure out if it's a copycat or if it's Alex Crabtree or something like that. I don't know. It's really interesting. It's a murder mystery. I'm trying to get into more like mysteries and slash thrillers, because normally I just read like contemporary slash like romance. This past year though, I did read quite a bit of historical fiction, which is not really my cup of tea, but the books that I read that were historical fiction were actually amazing. But anyway, side note. Still, basically what I'm saying is I'm branching out, reading more mystery thrillers, and so this one sounded really interesting to me. I know my synopsis for it didn't really sound that interesting, but a lot of people everywhere have been talking about this, and this was even like one of the picks for book of the month, 1 month. So I thought it would be an interesting read. The last book I have that I bought for myself is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This is my first V.E. Schwab book. I know that she's come out with like a lot of like cult favorites, but this is the first one that I decided to pick up from her because this sounded the most interesting and more up my alley. So basically the main character, Addie LaRue, it says in France 1714, she meets a stranger and makes a deal with the devil basically to live forever, but the catch is that nobody will remember her, and so she's living for centuries obviously because she made a deal to live forever, but she's living like century after century, nobody remembering her. She's influencing like political figures and like very famous people. She's influencing their decisions, but they can't remember who she is. And then one day this boy remembers who she is, and that's what kind of like catapults the story. And so I thought that was a really interesting premise. I've never heard anything like this before. Off the top of my head, I can't remember any other book that has a premise like anywhere near like this. So I thought that'd be an interesting read. It's a thick book, and if I'm gonna be honest, I picked this up because I wanted to read it for the Late Night Book Club's book club. It's like their December pick, and it is December 26th, and I still have yet to pick this up. So we're gonna see how that happens. They decided to push their live stream back to January. It was gonna be in December, like on the 29th or something. I could just be making that up, but they were gonna have their live stream be in the end of December, and they pushed it to January. So I have a little more time to read this, but I still don't think I'm going to be able to get it done by the time the live stream comes. But anyways, I'm going to see if I can try and hold all these books up. I just dropped 4 of them. These are all the books that I'm hauling for this holiday season. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found a book that maybe piqued your interest. Let me put these down. Comment below which book out of these maybe you've read already or that you're really interested in picking up. Leave more book recommendations in the comments below. Also, if you have any video recommendations, leave them in the comments below. I do have some videos planned out for like the beginning of 2021, so we're gonna see how that goes. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really enjoyed filming it for you. All my social media links will be in the description below, and yeah, I hope you had a happy holiday season and Happy New Year's. Bye.